That's what we do.
Back out.
We beat the back out.
And we're
Not
back.
this one. And we back.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about music. What did you see? That's where your mind all fucked
Well,
up.
that's why we're here to educate our listeners about the democracy.
There you go. Democracy.
You need to vote.
So what was your question, Gina?
Yep.
What'd you have before our break?
Well, my question was, with the point of us having so many people to vote for, does that once again put us in a bad position because our votes are being split?
Right. I think that is it. We end up really getting the candidate that we really didn't want.
They're being
We've
split
got the
anyway.
worst. They are, but we've got the worst possible system of election in the world.
We
The
need
way
to
that
have
we're
like
doing
a
votes.
tournament, like an election tournament. Seriously.
Right,
like-
okay, so they
They
can
do need to come up with another way of voting.
And that would
though.
kind
Yes.
of narrow it
Most
down, and
definitely.
you'd go to.
That's good, just because, like you say,
If you have 16
with Richard
candidates,
saying,
Right.
we'll know
Because
who
that's
know
what
what
you're
they
right.
doing also.
And it does it forces that candidate to be more transparent. It forces that candidate to be more accountable. It forces that candidate to go out to a community that he or she may not have even gone out to. Somebody might say, well, most of my vote comes out of the 28th ward, and that's my strength. But now what we're suggesting is you got to come out to 28th.
Yeah.
You got to go to the 4th
I
ward.
thought you got to be
gotta
universal anyway
yeah,
doing that.
you got to go up. You got to go up to the 21st. You got to walk down Penrose. And so that becomes the reality, and that's what we're saying.
I don't want to hire nobody if he's scared to go walking through the neighborhoods.
Thank
He's
you.
supposed to be protected. No,
And that's all.
you ain't real.
And that's all we're saying. And so if you end up with a runoff, and most cities have runoff elections, you end up voting for the best two. You don't settle for, I got 20 out there, so I'm just going to vote for one. You actually, at the end of the day, have an opportunity to vote, as we said, for quality.
Yeah, over quantity.
Over quantity.
Yeah, quality
and,
over
and so
quantity.
that's what we're trying to do. Now, there are those who are trying to fight against it, but those who are trying to fight against it, that's self-interest. I don't want it to be harder for me. It just, for them, it's not about the voter. It's not about getting quality representation. It's about what we said, staying in our silos and keeping what we have. And so that's not helping the city. And all we're saying is we've got to start thinking about what is best for the whole city. If it's best for the south side of town, it's best for the north
Yeah,
side.
exactly. That's why it's called the city.
It
Right.
should be. You can tell
Exactly.
the difference. You can tell the parts of the city that are more taken care of.
Yes, you
Than
can.
the other. You
Yes,
can
you
tell
can.
where our
Yes, you can.
So
mayor
they're represented.
lives.
So they're represented properly. Is that what you'd say?
So they got better
People are
aldermen, is
taking-
what you're telling me.
Um,
They got better aldermen.
And their aldermen have better connections.
Oh, okay.
You can tell where the mayor lives.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
can tell the part of the city where the politicians live versus the part of the city that other politicians
And if we
live.
Well,
look
we need
yeah.
them to step their game up.
Well,
in.
but it's up to us. I mean,
Exactly.
but we've got to ask those questions. If you look at it, most of the department heads in the city live in one part of town.
And you can tell.
they probably don't even stay in the goddamn city.
They
JB.
they do, but they live in a certain. I'm talking about the heads
Oh,
of
they probably
departments.
over there by Barnes Hospital and stuff like that.
And so that's part of the
Oh,
problem.
you mean
but,
Central West End?
Yeah.
but like you said,
And
sis,
you can tell.
but if you
Or
if,
the
if you
South
don't
Side,
have right.
when the last mayor was in office, he really took care of the South Side because he was
But
from
whose fault is that? But whose fault?
the
is that?
South Side.
But if I've got an alderman,
voted.
thank you.
Exactly.
Right, because if I keep voting for the same alder people who are not asking those questions, who are not saying, wait a minute, how come you're doing this over here, but you're not doing it? How come we have more dilapidated, fallen down buildings, vacant property on this? You going
North Side,
but why-
West Side.
but
They
we're
come with
not
funds.
asking.
Where does the funding come from? I guess as far as fixing up the neighborhoods, I guess that's all voted in.
But it's all
also.
voted. You get one budget, but you have a budget committee.
And the budget committees are set by the regulators, and each city, your district might not deserve as high a budget as where these
That ain't
people
fair.
are.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
Right?
but check this
Because
out.
if we one big city, everybody
Okay.
should get dispersed everything the same.
All right,
Goddamn it.
but it goes
not,
back to
and
what
you
we're
can
saying.
tell.
You got
it's
three
like that
people.
in the county too.
Yeah, but you got three people who control the budget. You got the mayor, you got the president of the board of aldermen, and you got the comptroller. Three people. Two of them are black. The- Yeah,
I
okay,
ain't
back.
say
Yeah,
nothing.
come on now.
But where
Sure,
they
big business
live is
comes
taken
out.
So you got
care
three
of.
people who control the budget, and two of them are black. So how come we don't see some of the budget on the north end?
Because them niggas put
And
that
two of
money
them
in
are
their
back.
pocket.
Nah,
It's
that's not
where
where
they
live.
live.
We only have, if you look at all of the citywide
They put the
elected
money in their
officials, elected or appointed citywide,
Give me-
only two of them live north of Del Mar.